Hello, people. Today I just want to talk about one of the things that pretty much annoy me in PUBG Mobile at the moment, and yeah, it's probably one of the most prominent things in pretty much every game, but it's one of the most prominent in PUBG Mobile in particular. So um, we are talking about hackers, of course. Um, yeah, it's in PUBG Mobile. It's somehow possible that people can stream them hacking on YouTube on the front page with several thousand viewers, and no one can give a shit about it. While people like Clipper or other players that are legit players just get randomly banned for nothing, and without their huge clout of being pro players, they wouldn't be unbanned or anything. So the anti-cheat is bugged as shit. Then we're coming to the other point that there are many pro players actually hacking in the game, or pro players as long as they don't have orcs, but many people that you may know as good players are suspected of cheating, and there's evidence on them cheating, and admins just don't give a shit about it. So I just don't get the problem. Um, the admins of PUBG Mobile just don't investigate into problems like that. I was in the point that I was sending admins evidence on tier 1, like level 1, top 10 EU player hacking. Um, like really obvious evidence, just him jumping out of a fucking house and pre-firing me without being able to hear me because I'm fucking crouched. So, like stuff like that, where there's just no doubt that this person can't be legit. And I showed them other clips, not of that person, but of other people hacking in public, like obvious aiming through the ground, then walking 2 meters and shooting the guy that is right where they aimed in the fucking Georgia Pole River or something. Like I show them this evidence that is like obvious as shit, and people don't get banned. But legit players like Clipper, who has got banned, MZ, Tetro, they get banned for doing nothing and just get unbanned because there's a huge shitstorm from their communities and almost the whole PUBG Mobile European community that is like somewhere into pro play towards the devs and Clipper's huge community. So I don't think that if there wasn't any prominent examples of people being banned, that anyone from those would have been unbanned, or anyone from like smaller players. Like for example, if don't know, like some random diamond that no one knows would have got banned for nothing. Like no one would have gave him a shit, you know. Like he would have just stayed banned, and PUBG would have said like, yeah, well, I think he was cheating. Don't know. Like I just don't get it how a anti-cheat system can be so broken. Like I'm coming from COPS where the anti-cheat is literally fucking ass, or at least it was like that in the previous 2 years, where I played this game a majority of my time, and well, there were hackers weren't banned, but there were no legit players banned for no reason. Like PUBG Mobile is right now the game that I enjoy the least from the ones I am playing, which are Brawl Stars sometimes. I'm playing Bullet Force, as you saw in my montage. Of course, I'm playing Syrup sometimes. I'm playing Heroes Evolved, which is a MOBA. Like, I'm playing a lot of games because I'm just having fun with it. And PUBG Mobile is by far the worst of those because of the simple reason that the game is just not fair and it's just unbalanced as shit in my opinion. Like not in terms of guns. Like the guns are fine. Like the UMP is a bit broke sometimes, or the Vector. But that stuff you can see above it. Okay, it's fine. Like you die to a Vector like what 1 in 20 matches or something. Like that's not a problem. But there are things that I permanently die to, which just don't make sense to my fucking brain why they are even in the game. One of the majority of those is like the steps on the minimap, which allows like people that apparently don't have a headset just to pre-fire the shit out of you just because you don't want to crouch over the whole map, um, then yeah, well, the fact that you have 30 FPS on pretty much all of the devices except like newer iPads, which makes like no sense because if you would fucking hardware modify modify your software of your game, like modify the game files, you could easily play on 60 FPS, which few of actual pro players also are doing, which is bannable for some fucking reason. Like, of course, it's changing the game files, but like, you gotta see the difference between someone cheating in an actual live stream and not getting banned, and someone modifying their game files to be equal to other people. Like, GFX tool gets banned. GFX tool users get banned for no reason. People that want to have 60 FPS on a device that would be easily capable of performing with 60 FPS, they're just not allowed to for no reason. Like, I'm permanently experiencing lag, like not in terms of FPS because my FPS aren't 30. There's not too many ways to get below that. Like, you just can't play private rooms, in my opinion. You drop, and if you hot drop or just drop somewhere where another team is, it's 50-50 if you die or not. No matter how skilled you are, because as soon as you peek, you're just in the fucking window for 10 seconds until you can stop peeking because you lag. Like the ping is just a joke in private rooms. It's just impossible to have a balanced gunfight, and especially when everyone is having 60 FPS except you. That's pretty much, yeah, well, I know a handful of people that are decent with 60 FPS. For example, my former teammates. Like, none of them has 60 FPS except Murderer. But, like, I play against people like Palmer, I play against Bro, I play against EQ. And I am supposed to perform against those players with the half of FPS. Like, how the fuck is that supposed to work? That's like playing on a fucking microwave against an iPad. That it just doesn't matter. Like, I could, yeah, you can be lucky, but you won't be able to consistently get better than 60 FPS players on a 30 FPS device. You just can't. Everyone has their fucking situations where you just peek, get two people, stop peeking, and do that again, get the whole squad. That happens, right? That happened to me, that happens to everyone. But you just won't be able to win an actual aim fight against someone that has double the FPS of you. Like, if I would have a phone that is like $200, if I have a €200, don't know who or why, I wouldn't even care if I would have 30 FPS, because I know that my device isn't able to perform on 60 FPS. But if I have a device that is perfect for mobile gaming because it can perform 60 FPS on every game except Fortnite, because it's kept there for some reason as well. But it's possible in every game, right? I can play Live After on 60 FPS Ultra, and the game is a fucking open world game with insane graphics, and it works. I can play MOBAs on 60 FPS, which isn't even interesting for that, because if your device can't run a MOBA on 60 FPS, you should probably flush it down the toilet. But I can play everything. Shooters, MOBAs, open world games on 60 FPS Ultra. But I can't play PUBG on 60 FPS Ultra because of the simple reason that the devs don't want me to do so. And that's a thing. That's just unfair as shit. Okay, that video was intended to end here, but I have to get a serious question out. Tencent, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I really thought PUBG was going to be the next big game in mobile competitive esports. And then you're announcing a tournament that won't allow players to use high-end headphones and high-end devices. Like, are you fucking kidding me? It's a LAN tournament. Just put iPads there. Like, why should you unallow mobile devices but force players to play on a smaller screen? That makes no sense. Like, right now, we are having players like Cookie from Insane X. We have Yeto from my past team, Arctic Revolution. Like, they are playing on phone. We have Kaito playing on phone, not even having 60 FPS. He's running around with this fucking 15 FPS or something, just playing good. Like, the reason why people are good are not iPads, it's general game sense. And I tell you, give players that are good at the game, like Palmer or Untouch, give them a phone, and they will still be better than 90% of your whole community that is playing on phones since years.